Thank you all. Welcome. What?
Yeah.
Okay. So this thing is, you will not hear us in a louder way. It's just for the video recording. So hope you will stay calm and quiet and will hear us, but don't think that will amplify your voice. So good morning. I'm very happy to see you all here. Thanks for coming, especially in these days. I feel like when we initiated the ETHTLV week, we kind of spread fake news. We told everybody that February is sunny in Tel Aviv and nice weather and all these kind of things. And now I realize that within 12 hours, you got 2 earthquakes and 1 storm. We even called it Barbara, which is unique. We never have storms, and now when we have storm, we already branded it. So it's called Barbara. So yeah, that is funny. My name is Yoav, and maybe I'll start with a little bit intro. Oh, my guest would start with an intro, and I make the closure. I'm Yoav, I'm the CMO of Collider Group, and this, I feel like this event is kind of my bar mitzvah or something like that. We've been working about it for the last 2 months, and yeah, these are my our panel speakers, and I will let everyone introduce. So Ada, you're first.
Sure, thank you so much. So I came to Tel Aviv from Berlin yesterday, so skipped some earthquakes, but met the storm. I am a Web3 entrepreneur. I founded my first startup in 2017, so with the first ICO booms, and we worked in health data monetization and then pivoted, and the company's name is Limpo. We ended up doing NFTs and GameFi, sold the company to Animoca Brands. And then a year or 2 later, I co-founded a Web3 consultancy and advisory. It seemed to me I made so many mistakes on the way that there's really some better way to for people to build companies than the way I did that back in 2017. So originating from that wish, the idea was born to have a Web3 consultancy advisory firm with the best experts out there. And it's called Blockchain Center, and it's also part of the Animoca Brands family. And we work with tokenomics, fundraising strategy, marketing, and growth. And we work a lot with GameFi, Metaverse, NFT projects, but also others, but this is the main focus. And I'm happy to be here to share what works and what doesn't work. And I hope that this is going to be useful for some of you.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex. I work at Cohen Telegraph. Hopefully most of you know about us or seen our website from time to time. We do all sorts of cool content, from news to features to magazine, and we cover virtually any part of the crypto space that you can think of. So come and talk to me after the panel if you got something cool to share.
Hey, my name is Lisa. I used to be head of growth at Hito Hardware Wallet, being the first employee and building its whole go-to-market strategy. And it seems to me that in Web3, it works in a very different way than in Web2, where I used to work for like 5 years before that. And I will be happy to share something non-trivial with you.
Great, so I think we can start, and you are not, I will be surprise you. We'll make some an icebreaker question. Okay, let's start with Ada. The fun fact that we don't know about you. I will make the closure. I will tell you a fun fact about me, but I would like to hear you first.
A fun fact. I can talk about what's very present for me. So this year I decided to venture into some creativity projects. So someone asked me yesterday, what's my background? So I actually come from political science, and I wanted to be a politician. I even ran for parliamentary elections back in my home country, Lithuania. So I told myself this year, okay, I've been already a politician, I've been an entrepreneur, now I'm going to be an artist, and I want to start a dancing project, a project on dinosaurs for a festival, and many other crazy things. I will let you know how it goes.
Hope it's better than the politician.
Don't know if it's fun, but like I really like to travel, and the way I choose places to travel is by what food they have. So if I want to go and have, I don't know, Chinese, well, we'll just get a flight to China in like 1 month. That's what we did 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, and we just went to Shanghai for 2 weeks. So
I did my master in theater direction, and it is so close to managing startups. And even managing theater is more complicated than managing startups. And now I'm not like, nothing scares me as much as managing theater. So it really helps in startups.
So for all of here that are not locals, I will tell a fun fact about me you don't know, but over the last 20 years, I was hosting the National Lottery on television. So if you need, if you need the right numbers, yeah, tell me, I have some connections. Yeah, but people, sometimes stop me in the street and complain about hard numbers that I give them. It's not me, it's the machine, I just press the button.
You could do it on blockchain now.
Yeah, yeah. I can do that. Yeah, right.
Verifiable fair function.
Maybe, but let's start. I think that all of you here are coming to hear some alphas, or at least to better understand what we can do in marketing. And I think that here in Israel we have a word that is that we call it tachlis. Tachlis is kind of the bottom line, and we all know that we are now in a bear market, and we all want to learn how to grow, not only in a bear market, generally, but in a bear market it's much challenging. So let's cut the chase and start talking Tachlis, or to the bottom line, and I'll start with you, Ada. From bear market to bull market, what are the strategies and what can we do?
So from my specific experience, in the bull market, like everything goes. There's a lot of FOMO. The budgets are high. People invest in PR, in paid marketing, in influencers. Everything goes. Now the situation is very different. We work with a lot of clients who have much lower budgets. Plus the environment is hostile. It's almost like for some almost like a storm in Tel Aviv, right? It has a crypto. For some people has a bad reputation. We saw what was happening with all the earthquakes that we experienced. So what do we do here? And I kind of see two pockets of growth. So one is the Web2 companies integrating Web3 kind of seamlessly. So it's already, if you have a product, it makes sense for your users to use whatever blockchain has to offer, and then you make it as easy to utilize that. No wallets, no self-custody, no blockchain, no NFT, just a seamless integration. We saw Reddit, Starbucks, loyalty program are famous examples. I'm currently talking right now with one NBA club. They want to do a fan engagement program. Gamified collecting, but for their fans it's all about the collecting, what type of items they can get, the prizes and so on. They don't care about the blockchain or self-sovereignty, but the product should have a part of it where you can transfer it out to marketplaces, trade on OpenSea or whatever. So this is one pocket. And the other pocket of growth that we're seeing, or something that we work on a lot, is fostering partnerships and sharing communities. So this is in Web3, because those who stayed, they're actually still enthusiastic. So we have less newcomers, but those who are there, probably all of us are still there. We still believe in that. So what we do a lot, we work on building partnerships, business relationships between the companies. So, we have a big access to GameFi and Metaverse, and we see, okay, where does it make sense for a GameFi company to say, okay, if you have an NFT of our game, you get something else in another game as well with that NFT, or you get an airdrop, some NFTs, or you get some power-ups in that game. You know, how can we involve the other communities? So, and that's it. I can talk about that a bit more, but I don't want to do it a keynote speech, so I will switch to others.
I mean, you said it. In a bull market, anything goes, but it takes, you know, some brains to pull something off in a bear market, right? When everyone's, well, supposedly depressed and is being put off from, you know, the risky ventures. But I think there's always an opportunity no matter what time it is, right? And I think this market especially, just in comparison to the previous one, I feel like kind of we as a community expected it. Like, would you agree? Like, we kind of saw that it was going to come, right? The COVID stuff, the economies are doing not so good, like tons of money being printed. It was kind of expected that was going to come, right? Like, we probably would not been able to foresee how exactly the market is going to fold, what the Bitcoin price is going to do, but it was reasonable to assume. So, you know, just being prepared and like, having your action plan, take account of the fact that yes, you can grow now, but in 2-3 years' time, what are you going to do with that growth? Will you have to lay off people? Will you have to change your strategy? So just, yes, it's crypto. It's kind of, we go with the mantra that it's for the future, but then we sometimes maybe take a short-term approach that we need to survive this period. We need to like get over this deadline or something. But just, planning ahead and just making sure that your strategy and your system does not generally depend on the market conditions, because like from our side, we still see a lot of activity. Like we still get a ton of emails, people are still launching stuff, they're still building stuff. Most companies prefer not to announce it or prefer to delay the finalization of something, but they continue working on it. So it's cycles, but we can predict them, I guess.
I agree with Alex about planning a lot, and I think that in bear market it's even more important. I suggest, like for my work, I suggest kind of scenario planning when before you start any marketing activities, any growth activities, you have in mind understanding of kind of what can go wrong, and it will go wrong if it can. And for example, keeping in mind that you will get less users, they will be more expensive, how you can manage that to still be alive after all that you are doing, after money you are spending, after resources you are spending. And I think that like for bear market, it really matters. And if for example, from my experience, if in Web2, while planning some unit economics, whatever, for the worst scenario, it was enough to decline the metrics for like 3x. For crypto now, I suggest have the worst scenario of declining 10x. Because the learning curve and the adoption curve of users, of people, is much more tough than in Web2. And for example, as I saw it in Hito, if for like a regular consumer product, it is enough for people to touch the product 5 times, for example. In crypto, it can be 20 times because people are very skeptical. And here is another side of, I think, growth in bear market and in crypto market, as the tougher is the market, the more scam or not very clear projects become transparent, and people are more scared and even more skeptical. And it seems to me that in these conditions, it is great to work with content marketing and being more transparent about what you are building, how you are building, who you are, telling your story. And it really works cool for engagement. because when people see who you are, what you're building, why you're building that, what you are using for that, they feel a bit of being a part of your story already. They follow your story, and from my experience, it works much better, but it takes a lot of time.
Thank you. So a lot of questions I have right now, but let me divide it, because I think we started to talk about the situation. We definitely know that we have less money in our pockets for marketing. Let's start with no money at all, guerrilla marketing, okay? What should we do? How and what should we prioritize? What would be the first thing that we should do in order to get some user acquisition or engagement on community? And we will speak later about what should be the KPIs that we are measure. But I assume that there are some builders here that have an idea, but they don't have money. They have the time and they want to grow their community. They want to grow something. How do they start doing it?
Should we start from that side now? Yeah.
Okay, speaking about I will start with the issue that if one says I just posted it one time somewhere and it became viral, I just did nothing, never believe this person. If something became viral, people prepared really very well. If we speak about being with zero money, I think that then it is a game with a lot of large numbers. You will need to do just more activities, more actions, more steps, and you never know which tweet will be retweeted, what will be reposted. If we speak about going from 0 to 1 when we have nothing and we want our early people, I think it's important just to think I'm sorry if it's trivial, but to think just what is your core target audience. Try to reach out to these people, even 10 people, it will be enough. If they see the value, they follow your product, they follow your progress, and they will be in the future, they will be your kind of ambassadors, they will help you to grow. If we speak about no money and 0 to 1, it's your community. I think it's trivial. And from my point of view, content marketing, great content marketing, showing what is happening, what you are doing, for whom, but with very high quality level, not just some information or posting something and thinking that, oh, my product is amazing, everyone will catch it, everyone will love it and repost. No, people will engage and repost even if you, only if you really plan a lot, think a lot about people, what they want, how they see that, how they react on that. Yeah.
Yeah, not much to add in terms of just the general view. From my experience, it's all about connections and engagement. So conferences are a great way. Obviously they require a bit of money to travel, but just meeting people, exchanging ideas. You don't know what's actually gonna work out in there, but something may have. There's obviously a ton of wonderful stories how people meet at conferences and go on to build great Web3 businesses. And also, when you step away from the social media as in, Twitter and stuff, you can always write a blog and then exchange comments, share that and then discuss it. So once again, it's kind of creating that network, which you can do, in your spare time, and it doesn't cost you much apart from an internet connection or a ticket to some place that kind of hosts like-minded people like you.
Yeah, I would add to that just to figure out where are these people hanging out, and because it's a niche market, so it's quite limited. I mean, it's quite you can have an oversight of that quite easily. So starting from, whatever, Reddit. I remember Bitcoin Talk used to be a forum that's popular. Obviously, Twitter, the what was mentioned already, tagging other people whom this could be relevant to, and then the events. I mean, so many meetups happening in every bigger city around the world, and you go to 10 and you will see the same people coming and coming. You ask their opinion, you follow them, you engage with them, and volunteering in conferences is always an option. Even conference ticket might be something you're not willing to pay able to pay for from the whatever is happening right now. So like how to make sure that the first 50 people who join your Telegram group or Discord channel or whatever, that they're engaging, and that means also people from your team engaging there and like sharing something every day, being active, because there is this problem of an empty room, right? That okay, I joined something new, but it's really empty and quiet out there. So like it doesn't seem a lot is happening, and there, how do I like engage myself and my few co-founders or a few early supporters, that we develop that there's some kind of fun happening there. And crypto is great for that. We know all of us know that memes work. There are these crypto jokes. So it's for Web3, obviously. We're just talking about very Web3 niche product. It's totally different for Web2.
I think that we are all aligned that content is important. And actually, a few years ago, I came up with the 7C model. I wrote about it. It's content. No, that's it. Just 5 content, but consistency and commitment. You have to be consistent. You have to be committed. Not only you. If you're a part of a company, you have to have your management, supporting you and committed to the content. Now, I think that these days, if you're asking about guerrilla and low resource, even zero resources, I think we can generate a lot of content. It's funny to say that, but many people use the ChatGPT, right? It's like a machine. You can, you have to tweak it. But I'm trying to give some ideas for builders how to stand up from the crowd. So yeah, I encourage you to use it also if you don't have resources, because you have to jungle all the balls together, and you know how important is content. Eventually, I believe, or I hope that people will be able to human will be able to distinguish between what is written with AI or with the people. But now you have a lot of balls in your plate. You have to jungle a lot of things. Use technology to help you generate. I think what's interest me is now about the new KPIs. I would say, what should we measure? Are they different than in a bear market? Are they different than Web 2 KPIs? I did many years of hardcore user acquisition in a Web 2. I know exactly what are the KPIs and how you generate the funnel and everything. In Web 3, it's a little bit different. Ada.
Yeah, so you start with the question, is the product live? Like, what's the nature of the product? Can you measure the users, the transactions that are happening on the product, or your early stage? Do you measure, and this is not so much different from Web 2, do you measure signups on your website? Do you measure the growth of social media channels and the growth of the community? And then, of course, only growth. I mean, there are bots all over the place, and many people can offer you growth, but then what quality of users they're attracting. So also this kind of some kind of metric to measure the engagement. Like if you have a big channels, but there's no engagement happening, then it's probably fake. So these are the things, and then you take it from there. If the product is live, of course, it's much more. You measure churn. You measure the monthly active users and weekly active users, daily active users, and so on. So, but it's very specific. That's my.
Over the past 6 months, as a media publication, we kind of became obsessed with stats and putting together spreadsheets. Looking at what we're doing on Telegram and how each particular post works. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. The list goes on forever. Obviously, analyzing SEO, but looking, obviously, for example, particular articles that worked and some things that didn't work. Why didn't it work? I think it's always a good way, when we talk about content, to break down exactly how it's received. In the end of the day, that will help you, not spend your time on the stuff that doesn't work and concentrate on the stuff that does work. Probably an obvious thing to say, but like for us, statistics and just gathering data and then just taking time to analyze it and study it, that has been really helpful.
If I need to choose one kind of North Star metrics for Web3, I suggest it being something connected with retention, because a lot of products, in general, there are a lot of products. Like there are a lot of apps in mobile phone. There are a lot of apps in the laptop, and the fight for users' attention is very strong. But in Web3, where people need more time to adopt the product, it seems to be even more crucial, more important. So I will focus on retention metrics, and speaking about like what to track. I will pay a lot of attention on what was the customer journey map of your first users or your second users to your product, because it seems that it can be non-trivial. It can be like not what you thought how users will come, but some other ways.
Alex, since you passed the mic for me, I have a specific question for you. You're representing one of the biggest media publishers in our industry, and I'm a builder, young startup. I don't have money for a PR agency. Definitely, it's kind of a cream for me, but I really would like to get coverage on Cohen Telegraph. How do I get it?
Tough question, but like, it's going to be tough, obviously. There's only so much. No, wait. I'm going to explain. There's only so much, for example, that we can cover in a day. And overall, just like don't think about Cohen Telegraph as Cohen Telegraph. Think about the whole kind of crypto media industry. Like someone eventually will pick you up, and then the rest will pick you up if you have a good product. That should be like the main thing. When I look at an email, and then the company name, the first things I usually do is check what social media accounts are live, if they're active or not, and what type of content is there. If it's just shelling some kind of a coin, non-stop, then, what's the product for me? I don't get it. It's just, that's the coin, that's the product. Not sure. If you have loyal users and you have a product that works and it has a purpose, then I think eventually, if you, put in the time in, you will get noticed, not just by the people, but obviously the media. The media comes in not to promote you from 0 to X. The media comes in when people are interested in you already, and we come in to say, look at this, right? If you want to know more, if you want to learn about it, here's the content. And then we will talk to you. You can explain what you're doing, and we'll present it in the right way so that people can understand. We're not really as media is there to support the industry. Like, we're the best friends, I would say, of the industry, but like we need to be sort of selective in a way, unfortunately, because we can't, although we would like to, we can't give platform to anyone. But when people are reaching out to us, companies, just people individually, I would say there is not a right way to approach us. There's probably a dozen of wrong ways to do it. The wrong ways, I would say, is to write, I don't know, breaking news, you have to publish this. And then you read the actual thing and it's like a rebrand, or just an announcement of an announcement, right? I would say the more correct way would be, I wouldn't say it's the right way, but it would be to engage with a journalist. It would be to engage with the media, build a relationship and say, here's what we have right now, here's what we're looking to build, here's what we're looking to do. Would you be interested in that? And then, me or any other journalist will say that this is what we're looking for, this is our interest, that's what our editor told us to look out for. If you have this insight, if you've got knowledge about such a product, if you are at a certain stage where it makes sense for us to include in one of the roundups or get a comment from you as an expert on a particular thing, it could be done. And don't think of yourself as just this person representing a company. You are an individual with your own knowledge, all right? You're all great at something, and you probably all have something to teach others as well. So, you can use that as well. But it's a tough question, but I think, at least what we're trying to do is to give equal chances to anyone, and we're happy to explain what we're looking for whenever people actually want to reach out and talk to us, instead of just throwing their announcements of another announcements at us. So.
He's afraid to pass the mic for another tough question. No. Okay, so we have only 5 minutes. I would like to open this discussion for you if you have questions. Yes, Joseph?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so to each of you, I like the content, and if you had the money, what would you do? What's one thing each of you might do to earn legitimacy for a crypto project, and what's one thing that each of you might do that could cost you legitimacy with a crypto project?
Can you repeat the question?
What would be the one thing you would do to promote a crypto project? Legitimacy, yeah. And what would be the one thing that you will not do? That is not legitimate.
Well, I think the second part is is easier to start with. So we see a lot. If it's early stage and the founders disappear or leave, it's like it's a very big problem. These are the people who should believe in the project. Sometimes it's like humane reasons. There is a fight in the team. Like, most startups don't fail because they don't get funding. Most startups fail because they have a problem in the team. So it might not be intentional. So that's really losing legitimacy. Now talking about announcements, right? Of course, it's good that you implement things on time. Like, you announce that something is going to happen, and then this is actually happening, and that repeats over time. People start trusting you, but the even better way to do that is that if something doesn't work out, just to be open and honest about that. And it was a big learning for me to say, of course we announced something, this new feature, whatever, but we faced challenges on the way. So now we could either release something that is half baked, or come up with some kind of cover story, or we can say that, hey, we tried, there are this number of issues, and now we have to postpone that. And it's like it comes through as a much more honest communication.
Yeah, just to kind of add to that, I think, definitely the lose part is much easier to answer. There's been kind of this debate, even like for us, it's ongoing, that some of the founders or some of the people in crypto try to be as anonymous as possible and keep their privacy, but it kind of gets tough when you get to the stage that you need to verify something, because if you can't verify that the person is real or what they're doing is real because they can't prove it with their identity, you get into this kind of personal brand issue that the person has nothing to lose if they lie to you, right? If they just pretend that they're working on something and they're not working on it, but then they tricked you into trusting them, then they've got nothing to lose. And that's where I think the core issue lies. It's kind of your personal brand in a way that you're putting on the line, and that you shouldn't kind of lie in a way, because if that suffers, if your personal brand suffers, that's it. Kind of, you should be done ideally within this industry.
I will be very short. What to do to be open source project? What not to do? Not to hire cool, famous people for tons of money just to place them on the website or to show them to investors.
Yeah, another question.
You mentioned how to establish a community when you have money. What are the first actions you do to establish a community when you do have money as a company? And which channel would you start with? Like Telegram, Discord? What are the first actions you do?
Yeah, so I'll kind of rephrase it. We spoke before that we don't have money. Now we do. Assume we have some money. Yeah. How do we build community? What would be the channels?
So I was wondering if the users that exist, if they're Web2 users, and then there's some kind of extension of the product, or like, but this maybe more details to that would help me to answer this better. But yeah, so channels are very product specific. Depending on of course, the usual crypto go-to is Discord and Telegram. Might not work best for whatever you are doing, because you have different people using the product, and they don't engage with Discord. I mean, Discord is just like super hard to use. we have to admit that. I mean, maybe some have figured that out, but it's a new. So what's the least traction to the community? What's the easiest step for the people to actually say I join the community and to have the engagement there? And what are the channels that they're maybe already using, and how we can go from there? So I've seen all possible things, WhatsApp groups to start with, some kind of close, even DM groups, and depending on what channel. If the people are already there, it's much easier for them, and then from there you can grow and educate the audience and offer more channels. So just looking for easy ways for people to interact.
It's a question for me because we never have money. We're just doing everything with our own hands. Let's say that you do try and experiment and put that money to use to see what kind of works and what doesn't. What does your community actually want to see? I think that would be the best advice that I can give in 10 seconds.
Okay, I will add one sentence: how to spend money if you have it. From my point of view, invest into kind of offline activities, offline gathering for your community to know people better and to make them closer.
So yeah, you see, when we speak about money, time is running out. Shit happens. Yeah, I would like to thank my friends at the panel. Thank you, Ada. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you all. And we will be around, so feel free to talk with us.